Same.
Welcome back to Theme Park Wizard. We're live with Mr. Vash Sky from the OG 55 crew. Woo! How are
That's
you?
right. Hey, happy to be here. Happy to be here. I don't know if I don't think I've ever been live with you. Have I, Wizard?
Never alive. Never
Okay.
with the people.
Not ever with the people. You see, that's something seems off there. Definitely should do this maybe more often than we have lately, I guess. Let's say. But I am so glad to be here, Wizard. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is a very interesting show because we've got some interesting. Well, as we were going over in the pregame, rumors, speculation,
Yeah.
maybe some soft facts coming Universal's way. So that'll be quite
Ooh,
interesting. We get to
that's a
go
good
into
one.
the Diz Twitter or Disney fandom, and I know Wizard, that's a passion subject for you. So I think this should be a lot of
It,
fun.
it is, and I like that word, soft fact. I think that's what we should call it.
Yeah.
Because my goodness, we're also going to talk about what the word rumor means. We're actually going to bring it up here on dictionary.com so we can show everyone what the word rumor means.
Mm.
Let's see what you. Hello, casual. Let's see. In fact, let's start out with what a rumor means. So let's go on dictionary.com because you see, in the past few weeks, some rumors have been popping up for Universal, like I don't know, Donkey Kong and maybe the Simpsons closing. But then some soft facts have been popping up, like, a permit for the Fast and Furious coaster. See, and that's what's up, Victor and Boxes the World. But that's where I feel like there should be two separate words. Someone posts a rumor on something,
Mm.
wherever they heard it, you know. Even if it's the first time, they're like, oh, incredible. False. But you don't know that. They just, bro, you didn't ask them where they got it from. Or someone more experienced, like, theme park stop and maybe some other insider that they post like actual like permits or something. People still call those rumors, but I feel like I like your word, Dre, soft facts, because it's a document file, the city or county. So I feel like rumor is it either true or not. People think rumor could be, they automatically say fact, but a soft fact is the permit, you know, filing, or a site plan, all the stuff with the Epic Universe with the site plans, and then you see the actual buildings being built specifically to where the site plans. That's not a rumor. I feel like that'd be a soft fact or becoming more factually shake as you see it in person versus rumor, which is just hear and say the true or not true. What do you think?
No, I mean that's. Listen, this kind of stuff is tough, and especially coming from the Disney side of things. When you hear rumor, chances are probably not going to happen. Whereas Universal Creative and what Universal's doing over there, you hear a rumor, it's likely going to happen. So it's this kind of interesting dynamic uh,
There it
that
is.
that takes place here.
Without
Uh,
confirmation or certainty as to facts. See, I just want to point that out.
mm. Yeah, I mean it. And what precipitated this, folks at home, we had a little, let's say, what do we call it, the permit princess, coming out and saying, "Oh well, I don't know where these rumors and facts are coming from." Oh wait. Actually, you know what? No, here we go. We'll do it this way.
Well, I don't know where this is coming from. These rumors about Universal, they're just not going to happen. I don't know what guys are talking about.
Something like that, right?
Mhm.
And it was like, oh, listen, yeah, Wizard, I've heard you speculate, and let's share these soft facts, these rumors in the past, and usually they're pretty spot on. Yeah, some things change, obviously, with the course of time, but as we know in this game, but been pretty good on some of this stuff. Anyway, I don't know if she was referring to your reporting or not. I'm not quite sure. But when it comes to Universal, like I said before, I find that whatever rumors that you hear out there, usually it's a pretty good chance it's actually going to happen, which is this kind of interesting dichotomy between Disney and how they do things and Universal how they do things, right?
That's very interesting. It was like, I'm just gonna, let's have some leak out. Well, maybe leak out and then do it that way. But that way, if it never happens, it can't be our fault because we didn't like show you some concept art and nothing happened at an expo, a certain expo, and then it doesn't happen. Very, very interesting. I feel like both have their issues and both have their non-issues. But recently, I think I either texted this to you guys or something. But Theme Park Insider, I think, or Theme Park Tribune, love those guys. But they reported that starting November 1st, Tuesday, Magic Mountain goes back to the non-365 day schedule, right? And as it was popping up. I don't know if it's probably not intentional, but I saw it seemed like it was going like it was brand new. So I took a moment to retweet a video I posted 2 months ago before the calendar even showed up. When the new CEO was making all these things, I was like, could Six Flags go back to seasonal? I put rumor. Ooh, same thing. Six Flags going back to seasonal. What the I think it was a live stream because the $40 parking thing. I posted just to show everybody that I did call something just recently before everyone else started saying something. Before the hours were posted, and what do you know? They're going back to seasonal. So ha, suckers.
Yeah, which is, by the way, that's pretty crazy how Six Flags is no longer going to be a 365 park. I mean, that's like we've talked about before. That CEO for Six Flags, he's making some moves. I don't necessarily know if they're the right ones, but a Southern California park going from, I guess, at one time they were a seasonal operation, going from that to a 365 operation, which you should be able to do, and now going to back to a seasonal operation. I've not heard of it happening before. It's a very interesting time in the theme park community. But we'll go from Valencia to LA, the the entertainment capital of the world. What's going on in Universal with those soft facts and rumors?
So let's see. Let's start with the soft facts. The Fast and Furious coaster permit has been posted. You were able to find it on the permit website until they muted it or whatever. But so that's happening, and it looks like, as I thought or heard before, from the lovely insiders at Inside Universal Forums, that construction will begin in January. And according to Universal Corp, the last performances of the special effects show and animal actors will be in January 9th, the holiday season ends. So I expect those to be demolished around January for construction in January for the coaster to open up in hopefully 2024. January is also the time the Super Nintendo was supposed to soft open, so can add some extra capacity to those people. January was actually really dead from the park anyway, so they don't need those shows. But
okay,
like super dead. I mean, I'm thinking like everything's a walk on. It's insane. People want to go. Well, actually, animal actors is kind of full. I still don't see people going in special effects, so I don't think they do that much. But and then Born would be the show to replace those other shows, and that could come on the upper lot or the lower lot. I don't know when, honestly. And then you have Waterworld as your show, and again back to the Simpsons in the Fast and Furious concept art, assuming that was that one they're going with. You clearly see some of Springfield, maybe not the Simpsons, right, but some of Springfield rethemed generic stuff. And that's supposed to open in 2024. That rumor is not too far-fetched. So, I'm just saying. And then you got the hotel, obviously, will be coming by the Olympics, because, of course, you got to have somewhere to stay for the Olympics.
That's true.
So, stay tuned for all that and more. Hopefully coming very soon. Super exciting.
I think the I think that the thing that's going to tip us off here about maybe what those buildings around the current special effects stage show and the animal actors stunt show, right? I think that the thing that will tip us off between the special effects show and the the Starway, right? The beginning of that, right in that area there. If that gets walled off as well, that'll tell us, okay, Springfield is kind of receding, right? And they're probably going to be pulling away from Springfield on the other side, because I think you've said before, I think their license for that property, runs out in 2028. Obviously, I don't think Disney's going to be looking to renew themselves. I think Universal, Comcast understands this.
I feel like Disney want to just jack up the price even more.
Right.
Probably to such an unreasonable amount that Comcast like, wait a second, okay, wait, we don't even have Simpsons on our streaming service. It's okay, you can take it.
Exactly right. So I think that's likely to happen. That's likely to occur. So we'll see where that goes. So you are hearing though that what is it, Bourne? They're looking to bring that out west. Is
Bourne.
That right?
Yeah, Bourne. In fact, someone just posted it today on the Bourne thread there. Yeah, they can see it coming. I think they suggest by 2025 or 6. Because just really as a replacement to those 2 shows that we'll be losing, and luckily we'll get an infinitely better show. If it does come, and they think they say again, someone actually pointed out to my rumor and said, "Oh, what if they're going on the Simpsons lot? It should go here because make an action area, because Fast and Furious Bourne action land or something like that." And then one person said next to Transformers and that soundstage, they did the whole little measurements and actually found it to be slightly bigger than Orlando's version, because Orlando's has like an angled building, or to be a fully square one. Yeah. So in an upper lot, lower lot, but I feel like it's definitely coming. They were casting for like some kind of, they even said like Bourne action something stunt shows recently for Universal. Some reason, maybe for special effects, I don't know, but it could be a test. Who knows? But I definitely think it's coming. Some shows coming, because you can't lose 2 shows without gaining some other redemption show, because otherwise we'll just have Waterworld and the Harry Potter shows, and when it gets very crowded for Super Nintendo World and other stuff, you'll need a people leader to grab you. And that's why I think the lower lot would work perfectly, because they have Bourne there, and all the people that get shut out of Nintendo can go to Bourne for just a second, and then go to Nintendo afterwards when it gets too crowded.
Yeah, that makes some pretty good sense. And with all this investment, obviously we got the hotel, which I know Universal has had in the works for a while, has won even longer than that, obviously. And so when you have this big investment in the form of all kinds of crazy stuff, not even just talking about Fast and Furious, folks. I mean, we're talking all kinds of stuff from what I understand. You'd want to go ahead and capitalize on that the best way possible. How do you do that most effectively? Well, it's going to be in the form of a new hotel. Interesting. Disneyland Resort, for as big as it is, and it has as much as it's added over the years, we still have the 3, right?
But I think in Disney's instance, there's like so many good neighbor hotels. Yeah, it provides like a lot of competition. Universal really has those 2 hotels, which aren't that cheap, to be honest. I mean, according to Sean, who just stayed in the Hilton, it wasn't that cheap. It was luxury, but it wasn't that cheap. But it was very bland, apparently, in some cases. But so Disney has a lot of more competition with the new Westin and the harbor stuff. So I feel like that definitely takes some of the pressure off those other 3 hotels, simply because those are so expensive.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating to see how that works over there in the middle of LA and all of that, because I know speaking from experience, I would probably go to Universal even more often if there were even reasonable accommodations near there, because the traffic to get from Anaheim, if you make that your home base, it is really kind of tough and frustrating. I'd love to be able to go to Anaheim first, maybe stay a couple of days there, then stay a day or 2 in LA next to Universal. I think that'd be great. So, and I think a lot of people have the same idea. I think Universal's making a great move in this direction. I'm glad to see that there is some momentum for this long-awaited project.
Yeah, thank goodness. And also, there's spots. If you look at the Sheraton and the Hilton right now,
Mhm.
and specifically the Hilton, the entrance is actually in the back of the property, like towards the freeway. So to get to Universal, you have to walk around the property and then
Hmm.
get to the street, then go to City Walk. Sean said it was very disruptive.
Interesting.
And Hilton's lower down the street. Both of them have like a shuttle and the tram stops there, but
Hmm.
Universal's hotels, both of them would be right on the property. One would be right at the Globe, so you just take the elevator and just come out and you're right there, which would be uh, save you at least 15 minutes of walking when you factor in going around the hotels and properties and up. And then also it's on a hill, so you're going up this kind of a steep incline from the whole Hilton to Universal, which is it'll be just a major perk. And then also someone mentioned as in Orlando, HHN packages, that Universal taking bank because in Orlando they do those HHN packages, some with the premium hotels. Woo! They'll make even more bank at Halloween Horror Nights than they do now.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there. It's good plan, I think, and Universal's been very what is the word? They've been pretty good at capitalizing on some of these things, so it'd be interesting to see how they do that. Now, you've been hearing a couple of rumors that I thought were particularly interesting. One is, and I don't want to speak out of school, so if I step over my territory, please let me know. But obviously, we have been hearing that Mummy has been maybe slated to go away sometime in 2023, and I think a lot of people, I think rightfully so, were believing that was going to be for Donkey Kong, and the adjacent buildings were also going away. But you heard recently that may not be the case, and it might be for some other e-ticket attraction.
Oh, yes. Now, Mummy. Oh, first of all, let's talk about Mummy. Mummy
Sure.
was only supposed to go in 2020. That was something.
Oh,
Even I think the major blog, like Inside Universal blog, like said, but
really?
COVID came and disrupted everything. But
Sure.
COVID was supposed to go away, I believe, for Donkey Kong or something. It was supposed to close
Hmm.
so many times. And of course, now last summer got a recent roof refurbishment. They painted the roof, but I think they also added railings, right? Because Cal OSHA said it wasn't safe or something.
Right.
So
Right.
some people are pointing out that they're like, Mommy can't go away. Just got a multi-million-dollar refurbishment with the railings. And I'm like, but good though. The ride was open. They didn't do anything. They didn't add any scenes. The effects and the ride are still broken portions of it. The repainted roof they just did. When I went last weekend, it's already rusting and peeling. So it's not like it didn't seem permanent because there's brown blotches all over it already.
Sure.
And they probably someone else said to counter that person's statement that they just again did it because of the Cal OSHA thing, because the safety they needed railings along there because they didn't have any railings, so I guess they just took an opportunity to paint a very dirty roof. I agree with that person. I think just because they repainted the roof doesn't mean it's sticking around for 10 more years, because if they had a new scene or if they fixed again, even just fix the animatronics that on the launch, there's like as you mentioned, there's like 4 mummies, but only 2 of them go up. That's for years now. If they fixed that stuff, I'd be all right. But they didn't do anything. Even when it had a short refurbishment just a few months ago, they didn't do anything. Nothing looked the same. I don't think it's here for that long, because just because they repainted a roof doesn't mean it's sticking around for too long, especially because the roof is starting to look bad again. They probably just did it for the Cal OSHA thing. Anyway, but yeah, so Donkey Kong is rumored to go there, but also a couple people mentioned the classic monsters might be popping over there in their very own ticket attraction. No idea who these people are, honestly, so I don't know where they got the information from, but
Right.
that would be kind of cool. I had to like a classic monsters, even if Donkey Kong does go there. Classic monsters, anything in Hollywood further in the backstage, it would be pretty cool. And by the way, those people that said that they say Donkey Kong would go, or I would think it should go in those sound stages to the right of the Super Nintendo world, so it can have an instant, or to the left, which I think that's a perfect location. So I'm fine with either one, but sorry, Mommy, you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we talked about it before on the, I think on the phone actually, talking about how Mummy was a little bit of a disappointment, right? And a huge advertising campaign, obviously. Mummy replaced, I believe, Confrontation out there at University of Florida. So the idea of it coming here, I think a lot of people were excited, but it's the right ride, wrong building, right? And it's so tragic because the coaster technology that's actually featured in there is actually pretty cool. Some of the effects are great. The very highly themed areas and kind of the first, third of the attraction, very cool. But man, that finale, I think we were all you told me this story, right? Every single time you hear the finale actually occur and people see that load station, everybody goes a collective kind of sigh, like, oh, really?
They're like, what? That's it? I'm like, oh,
right.
I'm sorry. That's it. And it's funny because I'm with, every time I go with Sean and Jess, they usually bring a friend who's never been on before, haven't been on in a while. And they always say, okay, Jess was like, all right, be warned. It's like, it's really fun, but just, don't get your expectations too high because it just kind of abruptly ends. And I feel like the fact you have to say that's so sad.
Yeah.
Every time the person gets up, they're like, oh yeah, you're right. It did just kind of end. Sometimes when they know the warning when it happens, they just start laughing, and I'm like, it is kind of funny.
It is funny. I mean, it's just you're expecting it to go on for some, for a period of time after that. It just starts to get going, and then it's like, okay, here we got this, this crazy sequence here. Maybe something big happens, and nope, load station right there. And it's sad because it took over a beloved attraction, ET. Like I think a lot of people dug it, but obviously I don't think the attendance numbers were quite there. I think who Universal was owned by at the time kind of felt like, oh yeah, we can replace this, do this big new attraction, do all this kind of stuff. But when you have a slow moving dark ride, essentially, in the same footprint of a roller coaster, well, something's got to give, because obviously for a roller coaster you require speed. And what was that? Well, it was track length. So it was, I think it was always destined to never be as good as maybe advertised, right? We saw those great ads in the I think early 2000s, right, when that was going in.
Yeah. All those ads made it look like it was literally flying through the air. I was like, okay, that was. And they were flying there and looping around this massive, and they made it seem like there was this massive
animal. Huge thing.
I'm like, whoa, that does look scary. And he's not nowhere to be found in there. Oh man!
So I think it's always been kind of destined on that short list of, okay, well, if we ever need to add something to the lower lot, this is where we're going to add it. Very interesting that they would go in potentially in the monsters direction. Obviously, I think that's what a lot of fans are most excited about for Epic Universe. The monsters, though, they were born largely in California, so to bring them into the fold officially there, I think a lot of fans, they'd be over the moon. I know the fans over there at Universal Studios Hollywood specifically have been wanting monsters type content for quite some time. So I think that's some really good stuff. And if nothing else happens, well, we get Donkey Kong, which is pretty great alternative as well. So fun stuff, and that's not even getting to the upper lot. Now, Wizard, I think the other thing that you heard maybe is that not only is Springfield maybe going away, maybe they're getting out of the Simpsons IP, but what it might be replaced with there on the upper lot?
Oh yes, more wizardry, maybe some more wizardry, which would be pretty interesting. Quickly back to Mummy and Monsters.
Sure.
Monsters would be a nice homage to the attraction that was there before Mummy, and someone that John Murdy, who does the Halloween Horror Nights, basically is the head of that thing. When the rumors posted Mummy will be demolished in 2023, he said, all he said was, I'm like, I'm like, I don't know because I'm making a maze for that location, and that's great and dandy and all. And some people said, oh, there it is. There's the proof. Not going away. There's proof. And could be, but Halloween Horror Nights is only through October. There's 12 months in a year. You can
Sure.
get that maze done. It doesn't take that long to demolish a maze. November, that can still close in November or December or January 9th, 2020, another holiday season.
Right.
And it was just a little annoying that some people said, "Oh, he said I'm making a maze there, so it's not going away." Like I think they just forgot there's like 12 months in a year, and that Halloween Horror Nights doesn't occupy all of them. But yeah, so those people that said that doesn't mean it can go away afterwards. So stay tuned. But upstairs on the Diagon Alley, on Springfield, Diagon Alley could potentially come, which has been popping around a long time, which would be great. I know Sean says, or someone was it Sean? Someone said there would be too much wizardry over there, but I'm like, this would be great. It would be like it would connect the two, Hogsmeade and Diagon. It'd be like just like the movie kind of to walk around and connect, or if they did some cool little transportation, like walk through the walls and how they do in Orlando, that'd be super cool. But I'd love Diagon Alley over on The Simpsons or anywhere in Hollywood because wizardry is nice, and it would seamlessly connect, make one big wizarding world.
Yeah, and it's tentative, right? I mean, things could change. I mean, we could have Epic Universe open, huge success, right? And it's like, maybe we go in a different direction. Right? I know the timeline is maybe 2024 or something around there, but they could push it off a couple of years, maybe see how their big new attractions and lands open with that park and see, hey, do we necessarily want to go with Diagon Alley? Do we want to go with this new Wizarding World V3 concept over there, Epic Universe, or do we want to go with monsters or something? I think the future is very, very bright for Universal Studios Hollywood, but you're right. I think it'd be wonderful. You have this natural connection point between the two lands. Diagon Alley, I think people would be over the moon for something like that over there over here on the West Coast. So really, really good things, man. Really, really good things coming our way. Now, I think the caveat that comes with that is, Wizard, you described maybe terraforming the Earth so that you have enough rock face, let's say, in order to build something like this on, which is pretty insane. And then also that goes along with maybe rerouting the tram route so that, or I should say, taking the tram unload area and locating it into the lower lot. I think all of those things are probably very, very beneficial.
Yeah, especially the tram. The tram, I feel like that would be definitely, obviously, the easier of the two. You can just literally build a station on the lower lot and just close the rest of it off. The terraforming, that sounds pretty difficult. But man, if they can do it, they can do it. And they know they want to spend it. They are certainly willing to spend the money to, I'm sure, do it. But I'm curious. Speaking of the terraforming, if the Fast and Furious coast is going to go over there, I wonder if they really want to do that. If they kind of kill two birds with one stone, what if they kind of prep that terraforming while building the Fast and Furious coaster, and like to stick a support in there or something? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? They kind of prep the area for that terraforming, and maybe in terms of project budgets, portion some of that terraforming with the coaster's budget, and then that way the Simpsons demolishing whatever replacing budget is a little cheaper because you kind of split the project in two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, also too, I mean, if nothing, Universal's very ambitious. I mean, if you see the back end of the Forbidden Journey, it's built on stilts like that. It's pretty insane. Who knows what, in fact, this kind of terraforming process actually entails. Also, too, you were saying that maybe another site that they could necessarily build stuff on is maybe like Falls Lake. Is that Is that true or accurate, or am I
Yeah,
off?
there's the tram. Well, there's also the tram plaza, right? Because that's a kind of, if you include that in the storage area, it's a pretty decent plot of land if you kind of move all that to the lower lot.
Agreed.
And then, in fact, ooh, thinking now, if you put you know, Diagon Alley, kind of like the village area, the
Mhm.
stores and stuff on the upper lot, and make that whatever ride just on the tram lot because it's right there. You know, then you wouldn't have to do as much terraforming because the stores and stuff they don't need as much support and weight as a massive ride would be. You put the ride over there. Interesting. But yeah, apparently we'll see Jupiter's Claim and Falls Lake moved, or Falls Lake gone, but Jupiter's Claim maybe moved. And that whole area for theme park expansion.
Hmm.
More episodes on Donkey Kong. Yeah, I will do more episodes on Donkey Kong whenever I get some aerial photos from BioReconstruct. Thanks, BioReconstruct. um, but
Helping people in the theme park space everywhere.
I hope he gets paid a lot. That guy, like, he should get an award or something. Like, wow, those
I know.
so many blog sites and everything uses photos. Like, I'd love to meet him one day, have him on the channel. But yeah, Falls Lake and that whole area, potential theme park expansion. That obviously don't know what yet, or at least he didn't tell me what. But look for that. He specifically mentioned Jupiter's, or he said Q4 2023. So we'll have to see at the end of next year. Something does happen over there. We shall see. Because those new sound stages are open now, so all the production stuff can move over there. That
Hmm.
the NBC Universal Campus will be open next year. It's almost done. They topped out. I saw the starting to put the glass on the facade, so some of the stuff can move over there. So setting the stage for these other facilities to be demoed.
It's it's quite ambitious. It's quite ambitious. Also, too, that would go with that timeline Q4 2023. I mean, that's pretty close to when you were maybe theorizing if you're going forward with a maze with Mummy. So you could do a lot of this stuff together. It's a fascinating thing. I mean, it sounds very, very ambitious. I think Comcast, they smell blood in the water when it comes to Disney. It's like, well, let's not just hit them over here. Let's hit them over here. Now, I mean, obviously, I don't think there would be absolutely groundbreaking, significant cannibalization there. However, Universal is in the market capture game, and they've been doing a hell of a job in Florida. Let's see if they can do that on the West Coast some more. I mean, the parks are packed, so demand is definitely there. Without a reservation system and ease of access when it comes to stuff like their their annual pass or their program. It has become this park that a lot of people are kind of looking at, going, "Hey, this ain't so bad over here in LA."
And maybe that's why they give it a pass. I need my drumstick. Which brings us
Oh,
to a
actually,
lovely
I think
tweet. How do I get the?
here we go.
Beautiful.
Little late on the draw, but yeah.
Brings us to this lovely tweet from good friend of OG's 50 OG channel, Matthew Murr. Is it Murr or Muir?
We always say Matthew Muir.
Matthew Muir. All right. So he said, what did he say? Oh, let me pull up here. Boop, 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 boop. Can you talk about the new DreamWorks Rider? Well, it doesn't look. See, now that's a rumor that was here, and it either got delayed or canceled or was never existed. The DreamWorks thing, because it looks like DreamWorks is not getting a new, unless it got delayed, uh, show just yet, Jesus. But we'll be watching. Uh, let's see. Hold on. Share screen. So Mr. Muir, great person, Disney guy. He's been on OG's channel. He's been on your channel, yes?
Yes, he has, and he has contributed greatly when it comes to sharing our shows on social media. He's been a great supporter of the channel, asking a bunch of questions that always have us kind of thinking like, I never would have thought of it quite that way, or I never would have thought to ask the question. So he's been an amazing contributor to OG55. We love him over there.
A Super Nintendo World update will be out tomorrow. Good old Jesus. Stay tuned for that. Which one? I think Universal will buy Warner Bros. Yeah, I hope so. If I think OG had that same idea, if they buy Warner Brothers, can move all the production over there, and then everything is available for theme park expansion, which would be fantastic. Plus, we have a lot of cool IPs, so I hope that happens. 2024, let's do it. Zaz seems to be very interested in that because he's just handing off to DC, head of DC to a whole bunch of people. He said, Rock, Kevin Feige, you want to come? No, it's okay. Okay, how about The Rock? Black Adam did okay. Okay, well, how about James Gunn? Wow, what a slap in the face to poor Dwayne. I don't know if I like that too much, but ouch.
Well, I mean, look, you have this kind of production guy combined with this creative and James Gunn. I think it's a good structure and something that we've been wanting for, I don't know, something like Lucasfilm for quite some time. So I think Zazzy, that was a shrewd move on his part. We'll have to see how that actually shapes up. But Matthew Murr, what does he say?
Matthew Murr. So he says, so OG did a tweet, oh no, yes, a long going thing with the people on Twitter. I guess I'm not on it too much, so I can see a little bit, but I guess not as much as you guys see. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Universal, everyone seems to stay quiet or give it a pass,
right,
for certain things. Whereas Disney, they harp on everything, which I can see it kind of leads into the next topic, crazy Disney people. I try to only give Universal or Disney no passes, but only criticize them when necessary. That's why I'm not usually on the crazy Disney people train. And maybe that's why I don't see it too much, because I kind of ignore what these people say about Disney. But yeah, and I was like, yeah, I agree. But then, and I explained in further tweets, and I think he agreed with me. But he says Universal manages to get past for their price increases and their declining. This is part the declining quality and being unwoke. Now the declining quality, I was confused, but it seems to me they're going up in quality for things versus random things. And then he said, "Oh, but the ops." I'm okay. If the wait times, I get that one. And I guess he was comparing it to Disney. So we eventually came to agreement that yes, the ops may have been not as great as Disney, but they didn't decline. They've just always been that way. So it's not like they declined. They were just never as good as Disney's in the first place. And then the unwokeness, he referred to OG's video about the bill, which I agree with. Again, call out one, should call out everybody. Shape didn't want to say anything, and he probably shouldn't have, because look how much trouble we got. Universal was hanging out in the back there, and that's fine. But yeah, so yes, I agree you should call out somebody. But yeah, what do you think about declining quality and unwoke? Now in the OG's video, he did say Universal seems to push out the same policies, which I agree they do. With the movie Bros and stuff, and they have the Pride as Universal, which is cool, all great stuff. I still feel like I think Disney is more vocal about it. Universal just kind of, unless it's the people, it's either Disney's more vocal about it or Universal just does it. They just will change their website. Pride is Universal, boom, and they'll say maybe come here for Pride Month. We have this going on.
Sure.
I feel like Disney's either more vocal about it, or again, people on social media are talking about it more. So it seems like Disney's more vocal about it. I don't know which one, but it just seems like even with the price increase, Universal just does it. Disney, I guess, kind of just does it too, but maybe more people are trying to go. So when there's a pause or something, everyone's going down, the site's going down for maintenance. I guess, maybe goodness. Now I'm thinking about it, he's right. If Disney were to do it, they would just do it. But I think people just have such like a watchful eye, like they're always on the Disneyland.com website trying to buy the tickets or whatever, and like, oh my gosh, it's under maintenance. Oh my gosh, that's on the price. I can't make a reservation after this date. Oh my goodness, is it going up? So I feel like Disney could just do it. They just do it. Universal was able to just do it because no one cares, I guess. But so I guess it goes into the crazy Disney people. Oh my goodness. Crazy. I had an epiphany. It's all you crazy Disney people out there that are doing this. And realizing Disney and Universal they do the same things, but they just everyone has a watchful eye on Disney, I guess.
Well, it's a couple things, right? So I think the biggest one is that Disney's top dog. And when you're top dog, you're gonna get the most scrutiny, right? You're gonna have most eyeballs on you. Remember this great story about how Michael Eisner, back in the day, he was getting into all kinds of stuff, cruise lines and stuff that the company had never really gone into before. And I guess his idea was, let's do an airline, and it's like, first of all, Michael, do you know how profitable those things are? They're not really. But Michael, let's think about this for a second. If we do an airline, and if some plane goes down in the middle of Kansas, right? In the middle of some field somewhere, and it's got the big old Mickey logo on it, that's going to be horrible, right? That's going to make us look terrible. And what was being demonstrated there is that because they have so much clout, recognizability, that kind of it factor, that they're scrutinized to a degree that their contemporaries around them in the entertainment industry and other industries that they tend to kind of dip their four-fingered hand into, right? They just don't get that level of scrutiny. So that's kind of the one thing right there. Also, too, I think, look, Disney fans, right? Well, actually, let me say Disney fans because that keeps it up on everything. I think I was going to save this for third, but I'll move it up to second right now. I think what really kind of got them into trouble regarding the Florida thing and everything like that is they're seen as this kind of children-friendly company, or at least a company that caters in part to children. And so I think a lot of people feel that they have a certain responsibility to kids. And so when you have these kind of politically maybe divisive issues, it's one thing if you're talking about adults, but then when you include children in the mix and it coming from a children-friendly company, that was where it was like, ooh, that's a little, that was one straw too much for a lot of folks. So I think that's what was kind of going on there. But as I was going to include in second, but I'll move to the third. You gotta have your Disney fans. Your Disney fans. I mean, look, the title of the video, "Crazy Disney People." Wizard's not wrong, right? This is a very accurate kind of statement.
Keep in mind, it's not everybody. It's just that, as you guys pointed out, with the 28% of the world uses Twitter, and of that, 28%, like 20-some whatever, are the Disney Twitter. It's just those people, because I have all my friends love Disney, but they don't. They like Genie. Some of them like Genie Plus. They're like, it's fine. Let's go ahead. I'm like, okay, you want to buy it? I'll buy it with you. No, they don't mind the reservation system. They're like, all right, you have to make a reservation, right? No biggie. Let's just press the thing. I don't like it, but they like that. I'm like, all right. I'm like, hey, just warn them. Just you have to make a reservation. So just kind of plan a little in advance. Like, okay. They don't seem to mind most of these things. The mobile order, they love it. I love mobile order too. Just click it right there, skip the line, and when it works, it's great. So I feel like, as OG said, it's not Twitter, and I get involved in it too. Even when I'm not, I try not to scroll too much because it does seem like the whole world, because that's all anyone's talking about. If something happens, it's all you see, and you think, oh my gosh, the whole world's like, and so they're all talking about this, the increase in Genie Plus to $30. Oh boy, it's just the worst thing. And then you go out into the real world and like, it's fine, let's get it. And I'm like, okay. It's so interesting.
Well, I mean, you're right? So I think 20-something% what was describing, which OG brought up, which I've said before, but I mean, it bears repeating that only 27% on of I think the country is involved with Twitter at all in any capacity. Of that user base, only 20% of those generate the majority of tweets. And then you have this kind of subset in Diss Twitter, and then a subset within Diss Twitter of those crazy people. So it's a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset, and they are, I mean, look, what is it? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. They are very, very vocal and have an outsized or play an outsized role in the conversation that actually occurs on Twitter. So, look, and it's. You have a very kind of emotional brand just as it is. I mean, Disney has a lot of emotions, that kind of get churned up in its wake, let's say, right? And so, because people, they remember, I don't know, their parents bringing them to their first animated film or going to, Disneyland when they were a kid and so forth. And so they have certain expectations of that. There's a certain nostalgia there. There's a certain emotional connection to these places, these services, these products that Disney actually produces on a daily basis. And so when I think the frustration, let's say Genie Plus, for example, I think the frustration there is not so much price. It's so much the kind of experience and how that has really changed things within the parks. And I am sympathetic to that argument because, I mean, I've seen it. It's wild. Wizard, I think you saw the Lightning Lane return line for Haunted Mansion. I mean, it's gone back into critical.
Splash Mountain. That's insane.
Yeah. That's absolutely wild. I mean, look, listen. I know. What is it? Universal has their Halloween Horror Nights, but nothing is more horrific. All right. Than a line that far for Lightning Lane. That's Lightning Lane Returns. It's absolutely wild. Now, again, Bob Chapek has talked about, how many people actually engage with the Genie Plus program. I think he's talked about as high as 50%, at least for Walt Disney World. And I know they're trying to bring it up at Disneyland, but just think about the effect that has on a park like that. A lot of people are complaining, oh, hey, we couldn't find a place to eat when it came to Hungry Bear or the French Market and so forth. And it's like, yeah, well, when you kick everybody out of line and everybody's waiting for the lightning lanes, they have to have something to do. And so they take up space here. They overcrowd the walkways and so forth. It's just had a very profound effect, I think, on the operations of the theme park, and in turn, a people's day that they spend at Disneyland, right? And when you're paying as much as they are, when you have all of these price increases actually occurring, and for a lot of people, the perception of their day is getting worse. You could see where there's kind of this misalignment there. And I think that's where a lot of the kind of vigor, let's say, for their arguments really kind of comes out. And honestly, I'm not so unsympathetic to them. I'm sympathetic to a lot of them, but they have to be able to, involve themselves in the discourse in a little bit more of a constructive manner than just attacking everybody that disagrees with them in any way. And by the way, it doesn't just extend to Genie Plus, for example. It goes into the realm of all kinds of stuff, and you have disagreements with them about, I don't know. I mean, the Splash Mountain change for one. We all know there's a little bit of a political undertone, social political undertone there, so that's a little different. But I mean, just simple stuff like, I don't know. People mover. You should have come back. Should have not come back. You have a disagreement there. Oh, I don't think the people mover should come back. They should just tear down the tracks and get rid of it and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Maybe the tracks can actually be used and so forth. We've all been there on Diss Twitter. I don't disagree with you, Wizard. Some of these people are absolutely nuts.
Yeah, man. And then they don't, they don't want to listen to other people. Like the tracks that say, "Oh, someone could be saved." Oh no. I'm a construction worker. I can see those tracks. They're just not sustainable. It's never gonna work. Never, ever, ever. And then, but oh, how about you try? Nope, nope, nope. And like what Joe G says, not with the space. Oh, you can't fit that here in Disneyland. It's never gonna fit.
Right.
Never gonna fit because there's just no space. So funny. And then they keep doing the same arguments. There's something about these Twitter people, at least the ones that make complain a little bit too much. It's unfortunate, but some of them have the little verified check mark, and I feel like if you have the little verified check mark, that means you're an important person. You're a journalist, you're an influencer, whatever you are. So you should be a little bit more understanding or like neutral, and not just be one of them because you have the check mark. You're supposed to be a leader, right? And in that regard, not supposed to be like, oh my gosh, fuck JPEG, oh this guy, da 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 da. Oh, really, JPEG? That's what you said? Well, guess what? What do you think about the verified people also getting in on the race?
Oh, I've had my issues with the verification process when it comes to Twitter. I mean, it's just people that should be verified aren't. People that are maybe shouldn't be. Maybe the people that should be aren't. It's just it's a crazy process. I know. Look. There's an elephant in the room here. Twitter's been in the news lately. I don't know if you know this, Wizard, but yeah, things are going to be changing, let's say, and I think that's one of the things that should change is that kind of verification badge, because I do think it... Look, I do agree with you. If you get a verification badge, I think that comes with a certain amount of responsibility, and you should be a little bit, let's say... maybe more moderate, maybe more reserved when it comes to your interactions, right? And not play into the vitriol and everything like that. It's interesting, because I've been seeing some videos looking into what's been going on at Twitter and what are the arguments that people are bringing up with what people perceive as going to be a new direction here. And some people have pointed out that Twitter lends itself to kind of gang piling, right? So, somebody retweets somebody else, and now all of their followers actually, gang in and attack a certain person or something like that. Is there any way we can go ahead and prevent that it doesn't lead to censorship and other things? It's a fascinating discourse around that, but I think Twitter naturally lends itself to hot takes and not really a kind of a civilized discussion, let's say. And it really is unfortunate because I've had some good conversations with people, but some people you just can't. There's there are barriers to or hindrances, I should say, some hurdles you have to overcome in order to have some type of civil discourse. And so I've had to moderate my conversations with people sometimes, just kind of say, hey, you know what, you make some good points. If you don't want to see things in a different way, that's going to be on you. I might just have to bow out here. That kind of thing, I've tried to kind of. I'm not trying to get one over on you or whatever. I just was having a conversation to some people. I won't. I'm not going to blast them out here. But let's just say I had some conversation with some people about Splash Mountain and how there may be some misaligned expectations, right? I think the general public has a certain idea in their head about what this Splash Mountain ride will actually be like, or I should say Tiana's Bayou Adventure, what it'll be like when it opens, right? And I'm trying to tell people like, oh, there's some problems there, and there's some very active Twitter people, right? They kind of come after it. It's like, oh, well, you're wrong, and stuff like that. It's like, oh, hang on. I got some evidence to support this and everything like that. You talk logical, and soon enough, they were talking amongst themselves or whatever and left me alone. It's like, okay, well, there you go.
Oh, God. Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, it's a tough thing to follow, and just if you're watching this and you have the verified check mark, at least try to do some research before you start responding or doing something to something, because that's why you have to check mark. You're a news publication, you're a journalist, that's what you're supposed to be, at least. So
Right.
put some research like you are writing, like you do in your news articles. You research something, hopefully, and then you put it
Mhm.
out there. And well, thank you, Dre, for coming on. Always nice to have Mr. Vash Guy on the channel. Where can everyone find you and your crew at?
Hey, best place to find me and the others who join me, which is George, that family man, 23, and the original Orange Grove 55.
Oh,
Well, go to Orange Grove 55, and you can see my show there at Freshly Squeezed, your source for juicy news and info, squeezed fresh right from the Grove. There you go, right there. And if you want to follow me, you can go ahead and do so on Twitter right there at Vash Guy. Go ahead and type it in. And as Christine Wastelands McCarthy would say, for all the
Robust.
discussion right there, that comes from two different places. One, Christine Wastelands McCarthy, right? That was obviously from her famous Wastelands comment about guests in the park. Oh, they can stand to lose some pounds in their waistlines. So that's why we're getting rid of some portion sizes. That wasn't too great. But every single quarterly earnings report she'll always say robust. So merge two things together, and it's a great joke, a great laugh. And if you want to have some great laughs, Wizards channel obviously is fantastic for that. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe down here. Hit that like button. Share this out. It really does help the algorithm. Helps out my boy Wizard here. And if you want even more than that, you can stop on by Orange Grove 55. You'll have a good time as well.
Freshly Squeezed!
That's right.
And
Freshly Squeezed.
thank you, everybody. Subscribe and have a fantastic day.